Okay, let's practice what we have learned so far by creating a program in a program library. We're not going to create it from beginning to end. We're only going to create it uh, up until the end of the target interface. And we'll do the mastery criteria later. Okay, so first, to create a program, you need to be able to go into a library and add a program. You should see this plus program icon. If you don't see that icon, that means the role that you've been assigned does not have permission to create a program. And if that is a mistake, then you need to contact your Motivity administrator at your organization and let them know that you don't have permission to create programs. All right, so once you can see this is where you're going to create a program. This is going to be a practice program. So to indicate that it's a practice program, you might want to put your name in the program and then the name of the program. Or you just say like Emily's, I can't type, practice program. All right, for now, I'm not going to assign a label. I'm just going to create the program and it's going to show up in the library. And it's going to go it's going to open the editor. So this should seem familiar to you. This is the program editor, and this is building a program from scratch. Most of the time, you will be creating a program from a template, but we're going to, for the purposes of this training, create a program from scratch so you can get some familiarity and practice with all of the pieces and sections of the program builder. Okay, so as you can remember, this is the name of the program, and we're at the program level here. And I'm going to go ahead and just create a basic imitation program. I think the best thing for you to do is for you to follow along with me as you're creating the program. So if you're not logged into Motivity and if you don't have a program ready to go ahead and push pause right now, log into Motivity, go into your library and create a practice program for yourself, and then come back when you're ready and push play and then follow along. Okay, we're ready to practice creating a program. We're at the program level. Here is where you would put a goal description. So I'm going to put, this program is going to be an imitation program. So I'm just going to put, I'm going to use $learner because that will populate my learner's name. Will imitate 20 motor actions. Okay, you can put whatever you'd like there. And then this is the protocol. This is where you're going to put in the teaching instructions, your reinforcers, your SDs, your error correction procedures, all of that stuff. For now, for time's sake, let's just leave this blank. We'll come back to concurrency later, so let's leave that there. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the program tree and I'm going to design the outline of my program. For this imitation program, I want to create a set. And a set is going to contain a group of targets. And the reason why I want to create a set here is because I want to do 20 motor imitation targets that are maybe or I want to do 10 gross motor imitation, and I want to do 10 fine motor imitation. So I'm going to create a set here, and I'm going to call this set gross motor imitation. Now, I'm not going to create my second set yet because I want to create the targets and everything in this set, and then I can clone this set so I don't have to create another set all from scratch. So I'm just going to build out this set first. So now I'm in the set. I can add a goal description for the set if I'd like. 10 gross motor okay, And I can put in a specific protocol there if I'd like. And again, concurrency can also be specific to the set. We'll address concurrency later. And now I'm going to add targets. I have 3 choices of targets. I could add a skill target, I could add a behavior target, and I can add uniform targets. Obviously, this is a skill acquisition program, so I'm not going to add a behavior target. So I have a choice of skill target or uniform targets. Uniform targets are best used with acquisition targets. And uniform targets, if you recall from the training, these are targets that all have the same configuration. So imitation is a really good example of using uniform targets because all of the targets have the same SD, mastery criteria, instruments, and they only vary based on the name of the target. So like clap hands, stand up, turn around. Skill targets would be used if each target has separate configurations and build upon each other. So I'm going to use the uniform target. So let's add that now. So now you can see we have our outline here. We have our program, our set, and under the set, now we have a set of, we have uniform targets. So you can name this or just leave it blank. I'm going to go ahead and create my targets here. All right, so I'm just going to put 5 in here for now. But you can create as many targets as you'd like here. You would just need to press enter to separate each target. So it's going to create 5 targets. That list populates here. You can move the list up and down, or you can delete items. If you need to add more, you just click on plus target. You can also add a goal, a description, and protocol here, but this isn't necessary. It's already in the program level and at the set level. Okay, so now we're in phases. So we can add multiple phases to this list. Right now we just have the train phase. As you can remember, we can add as many phases as we'd like. And when phases are added, they're usually added in this order, but you can move them around. But for just simplicity's sake for now, we're going to just work with one phase today. So let's just stick with the phase that is already there. When you create a uniform target item here or element, it's going to already have a phase in there, and it will default to train. And train, as you can remember, is the phase for skill acquisition. Okay, so we don't need to do anything. The phase type is already in there, and we're going to leave perform during a session for now. We'll discuss session types later. And we're now going to focus on building the target interface. And as you can recall, there's 3 sections of the target interface: the key instruction, measures and instructions, and the opportunity outcome. Okay, so let's look at the simulation that's over here already. The simulation lets you see what your data collection interface is going to look like as you're building it. So you can see all of the targets we put in there, and you can see our goal description here for the program and the set. And the default instrument for skill acquisition is pass fail or % correct. That's already in there. And if you want to simulate a session, you click on this clipboard icon and you can start a session, and you can see what the program, the target interface looks like. And then you can also see how many targets are going to be available at a time. So right now the concurrency roles are not set up. So that means the default is that all targets are presented at the same time. But we'll go back into that later. But for now, this just helps us see what the user interface is going to look like as we're building it. Okay, So let's decide what we want to put in the key instruction. I'm going to put something that I would like to put, and you can put whatever you would like. For imitation, I'm going to put in an SD because I want to tell my BTs what to say before or in this particular program. So I'm going to put in SD, and we have a little fancy formatting here that helps with that. And I'm going to put in this or okay, so this I've decided to put in the SD into my key instruction. And if I click out of this box, then it saves what I've written, and then it populates, boom, right into the simulation. Now they can see what the SD is for these targets, and you can see it populates for all of the targets. Okay, now let's go into measures and instructions. As you can see in measures and instructions, it already has one measure here. And a measure is made up of two items. You have the measure label and the instrument. The measure label is where you put, it's like where you can specify and create clarity on what the data collector is supposed to do with the instrument. In this case, I want to tell them what a plus is and what a minus is. So I'm going to write in $learner imitates, and then I can put in here $target. $target is the name of the behavior or the target behavior that's in that list. So now you can see Johnny imitates clap hands. That, and you can see all of the targets are populated in there if you use $target. And then Johnny, he's the default name for any library. So once you assign this program to a learner, then the $learner code that will auto-populate the learner that it's been assigned to. Okay, so you can see we have the measure label. The pass-fail instrument is selected. So we can use this instrument, or we can decide to change the instrument. For this program, pass-fail is a good one. Count won't work because that's measuring frequency. A timer won't work. Custom prompts could work if we're using a prompt hierarchy. So let's look at what that might look like. Let's just play with that. So a prompt hierarchy, we put in custom prompts, and right away it gives us the ability to add prompts buttons here. So I can add, every time I click plus prompt, it adds a button here, and I can then customize the button. So here, maybe I want to put I for independent. Oh, wrong one. Got to put it down at the bottom. That's where it will populate into the first. So I for independent. Maybe I want to put for the second, the middle box, maybe I want to put partial prompt, so PP. And then maybe for the one on the left, I want to put full prompt there. And I can, now I created my own custom prompt, my own custom buttons. We can get fancy, and we can do custom scores where we give each button a different score and all that stuff. But for now, we're just going to leave the default. Default means that the far right button, the green one, is the score is 100 and all the others are 0. Okay, so we can use the prompt hierarchy, or we can go back to pass-fail. But and then, of course, as you can see, you can add multiple measures to the target interface. So maybe we want to add a text box where people can write notes. So where I could do, I just add text, and then I can put in instructions. Like I can just say notes, or anything else we want to learn from this. But maybe this isn't needed, so I can delete that, and I just want to see the prompt hierarchy. Okay, so go ahead and play around with creating some more of these. You can also clone this set here and create a new one. And then go in and edit these. So you can change the targets, the target names, you can change the SD, you can change the measures, but play around with using, creating sets, creating targets, adding target names, and designing your target interface and using your instruments. We will go into the opportunity outcome, the session outcome, and transitions in the next exercise. All right.